Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good time, depending on when you're watching this video. Today, we'll be talking about something that's really important, not only in the sales world, but also in life in general. So today we'll be talking about the 5 tips and strategies every salesperson, every salesman, saleswoman should really incorporate into their sales strategy to boost their closing, to boost their the sales rate, to boost the closing rate. So in the world of sales, in the world of business, there's actually, I am really strongly believing, I am a firm believer of the cause and effect. So the cause and effect basically states that for every effect, for every outcome that you desire, there must be a cause behind it. So basically, you could think of this this cause and effect scenario as probably you spend an extra 10 grand on marketing and you get so much more customers, probably 50 more customers. You spend an extra 10 minutes on the phone with this particular client and they bought so much more shares from your market. But what I'm trying to say here is in the business of sales and in the arena of sales and business of in the whole business world, everything has a cause and effect relation, whether it is sales, marketing, accounting, management. Everything has a cause and effect, whether you're working for yourself, you're self-hired, or you're an employee. Okay, so knowing that, we must also know that if you want to close more sales, you must have the cause for the customers to want to buy your particular product or service. So with these 5 closing methods and these 5 tips that I would provide you, you will be able to close more sales. So first of all, we have 5 tips. The first tip is focus on them. Focus on the potential client. Tip 2 is show them the real examples of how your product and services actually help. The third one is get your prospects committed to solving this problem, solving the problem that they have before pitching your offer. And the fourth tip is always give 3 to 5 options that they could choose from, so that they won't go to like other businesses to choose. And lastly, tip 5 is always schedule a follow-up call or a meeting. So we'll go into depth analyzing and talking about a little bit more of these different tips now. So the first tip, focus on them. So in the world of business, most people are self-driven, right? Most people are motivated with self-interest, right? You don't go out and of the way and say, this tangerine is this bag of tangerines is $5, but you know what? I'm going to pay $50 for that. No one goes and do that. So people are really motivated and self-interested. So in the world of business, what you want to do when you want to appeal to them and sell to them is you want to focus on them. You have to focus on the prospect's needs. You have to look at what the prospect actually needs, and you actually have to deliver a product or service that will be able to address his needs. Let's say, for example, a particular community has a variety of food. However, it's lacking in Chinese food. So you, as an entrepreneur, will go into the community, identify the needs, seeing how the local population of Asians is around 5%. So you do your math, and it's about 100 Asians in the driving distance. So you say, okay, so the demand for Chinese food is quite high. However, the supply for Chinese food is quite low. So right now, you're focusing on them, which is tip 1. You're focusing on the customers. You're trying to deliver the best product that is of value to them, not of you, right? So when you want to pitch a product, let's say you are selling a pack of pens, right? Whiteboard markers. And you go out and you're pitching this product. Instead of talking about your company and talking about yourself, you should talk about how this pen will be able to help your company. Talk about how this pen is able to solve their problem. So for tip 1, what you want to do is focus on the prospect. Focus on their needs and the wants and how your product is solved them. Now that brings up to tip 2. You have to show them examples of how your product and service can help, right? For example, if you're selling printers, right? You could say your printers are really outdated. Not only are they wasting ink, electricity, and unnecessary time. So you're showing them by buying this new brand of printer, new series of printers, you could save up on printing ink, you could save up on electricity, you could it's a lot faster as well. So when you show them real examples, legit examples of how your product and service can actually help them to make their lives better, to make their lives easier, to make their lives more desirable to live in, you could actually create something of value. And the customers will be naturally drawn to that sort of product, right? Because you are showing them real examples of how your product can actually save them time, money, resources, or any of those above, right? So what you want to do here is show them real examples of how your product and services can actually save them money, time, or resources. So what you hear is you'll have to appeal to them that your product is of value. Now, that brings us to tip 3. Tip 3 is to get your prospect committed, right? So if your prospect or your potential client is not interested in buying your product, you have to convince them or actually show them that they have this need, or they have this problem they have to solve. And by buying your product, you can actually solve the problem. Now, often around 10% of the people are people that already know they have this problem. And when you address this problem, they actually just go buy from you. And the majority of people actually are just sitting between the fences. They don't know whether or not they have this problem or not. So what you want to do in tip 3 is to actually show your prospects that they have this issue, that they have this problem that they really need to solve. And actually to convince them that probably wasting a lot of time and resources and potential money on printing is not viable. It's not a good business decision for them to make. So probably here, what you want to do here is to make sure that your customer or a potential customer is genuinely interested in buying your product, or at least genuinely interested in solving the problem that your product is supposed to solve. Now, an example of this is selling ice to an Eskimo. Now, this is one of those really traditional sales sayings that if a good salesperson could sell anything to anyone, even selling ice to an Eskimo. Now, of course, Eskimos are in no lack of ice, but if you can make ice such a desirable product, and actually to convince your prospect to committed to solve the problem, which is the lack of ice, they would actually buy, and the Eskimos will actually buy your ice. Now, this is one of those examples that actually really good salesmen, they can basically sell anything to anyone, anytime, anywhere, right? So, okay, so tip 3, what you want to do is make sure that your prospects actually know that your product is able to solve this problem that they have, and convince them that they have an issue they need to solve, and your product is the solution to that problem or the issue. Now, step 4 is to always give 3 to 5 optional pitches. Now let's bring back to the printing example. In the printing example, you're pitching to this company your top 3 models of printing printers, right? You probably have the really fast printer that uses a lot of ink. You probably have the slow printer that conserves ink and energy, and probably have the mediocre printer that is just okay, not too fast, not too slow, not too shabby, but it's usable, right? So on tip 4, what I want to do is you want to show your potential customers a variety of products that proclaims to solving their product. They're solving their problem. Now, why would you want to give them 3 to 5 options to choose from? Now, there's 2 main reasons you want to do that. First of all, if they have multiple choices of different varieties of printers to choose from, they won't be inclined to choose to look into other companies to buy their printers from, because you already provide a variety of feasible printers that they might be able to buy. Why would they go out their way to seek for other companies, right? You provide 3 to 5, probably a cheap one, an average one, and a premium one, right? So okay, they could look at it, they could compare it, they can make the decision for themselves whether or not it's a good investment for them to make. Now, the other aspect of this, of why you want to have 3 to 5 optional pitches, is that they have the ability to choose. If you only give 1 or 2, or sometimes 2 pitches to the customers, they would feel like they're really limited and they will move on to other companies that have more offers. But if you present 3 to 5 optional products, they will actually be more attractive because they'll look into your pitches and actually consider the different outcomes that they might choose. So this is one of the most underrated, but also one of the most important aspects of sales. Now, moving to the last tip, which is tip 5. What you want to do is always schedule a follow-up call or a meeting. Now, when you're cold calling, and when just going on doors or knocking on doors and saying, hey, we have this awesome new product, and I don't know if you'll be interested in trying it out. And if they say no, that's fine. Just schedule a follow-up saying, okay, I totally understand why you won't be interested in buying this product right now. Maybe we'll do a follow-up in about 6 months, and let's see if you'll still be interested, okay? So they will say, okay, why don't you just call me back in 6 months and let's discuss this further. So always schedule a follow-up. A lot of the deals are actually done in the second or third, even sometimes fourth follow-up of the first initial call. So it's really, really important to schedule follow-ups because you can constantly check in with your prospect to see if there's new needs and desires they want to face, or there's new passions and fears they want to address. So you can always want to schedule a follow-up with your potential clients to see whether or not there's anything else you could do for them, and to be able to help them with their problem. Okay, so these are the 5 tips that will actually really, really boost your sales and your closing rate. And if you do find this video informative and useful in any ways, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. That'll be really, really helpful for these videos. I upload 3 videos every week now, so be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications if you guys are interested in more entrepreneurial, business, investing, and investing videos. And without further ado, thank you guys for your time, and I'll see you guys in the next one.